Roadhouse was directed by Doug Liman and stars Jake Gyllenhaal and is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. It's a remake of the 1980s Patrick Swayze movie. And here an ex-UFC fighter named Dalton takes a job as a bouncer at a Florida Keys roadhouse, only to discover that this paradise is not all it seems. But before we get into the rest of the video, I do want to give a special thank you to the sponsor, Factor. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day easy. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. You'll have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. With 2-minute meals, you can fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant-quality meals that are ready to heat and eat wherever you are. For us, Factor's helped a lot because it's really simplified mealtime. When you have toddlers, mealtime can be like a gigantic thing. You're trying to make sure that everybody gets fed and everybody gets fed on time. And because of Factor, it's made things so much easier to focus on what the kids might want. So head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code Stuckmann50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life. 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors for every order while you're an active subscriber. That link is in the description below. It's factor75.com and the code is Stuckmann50 for 50% off your first Factor box. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. The original Roadhouse is a movie that fits into a lot of categories. It got crushingly bad reviews when it came out. I mean, really bad. Roger Ebert was one of the very few critics who actually said the film had some merit to it. And in his almost prophetic review, he mentioned the film might be so bad that it's good. And that description attached itself to that movie for years until so many fans embraced the movie and people of that generation shared it with their kids and their other family members and all of their friends that people just think it's good now. People love the original Roadhouse. I've seen it. I think it's a ton of fun. Patrick Swayze punches a whole lot of people in the face. And that film came out in an era where movies embraced their own silliness and viewed that as a positive thing. There are so many movies of the 80s and 90s that feel gleefully absurd, but they're completely sincere in being so. And Doug Liman's Roadhouse absolutely 100% is trying to recapture that vibe. Sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't. What Roadhouse 2024 does very well is 2 specific things. It's actually able to recapture a type of movie that really is not made anymore, and that is the lone hero guy comes into a town, fights a lot of people, kills some people, and somehow changes the town for the better, and everybody looks at him like he's their hero. Those types of movies really are not made that much at all anymore. In fact, this movie is very aware of the fact that it follows a structure of a classical Western. A lone gunman coming into town on a horse, finding out there's some problems at the local saloon, and taking care of business. What it also does very well is Jake Gyllenhaal. The man is clearly dedicated to his physical physique, he looks amazing in the movie, and his fight scenes are a lot of fun to watch, but I also liked him bonding with members of the town and them kind of allowing him to open up a bit. But like the original, this film also feels very over the top. This is a movie where people can be stabbed not once, but multiple times, and then kind of get up and be like, man, that didn't feel good, and walk away. Lots of rippling muscles and sweat, bodies flying off of boats that are crashing, lifting 4, 5, 6 stories into the air, landing, and somehow surviving. This is the kind of movie that Doug Liman made. And for better or worse, it worked for the most part for me. Where the movie starts to falter is the introduction of a secondary villain near the 3rd act of the movie. You understand there's kind of like a head honcho villain for a lot of the movie, but once they introduce Conor McGregor's character, it feels like the movie overestimated how much I would appreciate that character. Aside from a really good bare-knuckle fight scene, I didn't really think his inclusion in the movie added much to it. It's interesting because Doug Liman's movie The Bourne Identity also did something very similar, in that you have people who are trying to find Jason Bourne, and eventually somebody makes a call to Clive Owen. And Clive Owen kind of becomes a climactic villain presence, just like Conor McGregor does here. But in that film, I felt that it worked so much better because you understood sort of the structure of like calling various assassins, but Owen's character was also given one of the film's best lines when he looks at Jason Bourne and is like, look at what they make us give, or I'm paraphrasing, I haven't seen the movie in years. It worked much better in Bourne Identity. Here, it feels like the movie wants me to like that character more than I do, and it just wasn't really working for me. There's also a very hyper-frenetic way in which the action scenes are edited and filmed and pasted together with CGI transitions. There's some really brutal and effective sequences of people just getting their faces smashed in, but there's also parts where the camera whip pans around so fast and stitches together CGI cuts that it kind of takes you out of the experience. Despite some of the issues, I laughed a lot while watching Roadhouse. A lot of people get their faces kicked in. Jake Gyllenhaal is clearly very dedicated to this role, and it remains to be seen if it will be embraced by fans of the original. That film is over 30 years old. People who love that movie have seen it 50, 60 times. It means something to them. It was part of their life and still is. A movie that just showed up on Amazon Prime this weekend isn't going to change that. But I do think that this movie really did try to recapture the feel of the original, and for the most part succeeded. So if you do see Roadhouse this weekend, let me know what you thought of it. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.